Hi 5th graders! Today we're going to learn about mixed fractions, improper fractions, algebra, and combining like terms. So let's get started. First, we're going to start off with mixed fractions. Okay, so for mixed fractions, you have to remember that when you have to multiply the whole number with the denominator, then add the product with the numerator. The numerator right here. So we're gonna do number 1 together. So number 1 is 5 1/3. So based on the number or a fraction, we are given the numerator, which is the number on top, which is 1 in this case, and the denominator, which is 3 in this case, and denominator is the number on the bottom, and the whole number, which is 5 in this case. Now we're going to move on to step 1. Step 1 is multiplying the whole number times the denominator. So we're given the whole number and the denominator. And the whole number is 5, the denominator is 3. So 5 times 3. And this is simple basic multiplication. So 5 times 3 equals 15. So that's going to be the answer for step 1. Now, step 2 says numerator plus product from step 1. So numerator means the numerator from the original problem, which is 1 in this case, and the product from step 1, which is 15. So 15 plus 1 right here. Now, once again, this is just simple addition, and 1 plus 15 equals 16. Now, let's move on to step 3. The numerator is the answer from step 2, and the denominator stays the same as the original mixed number. So the numerator, the number on top for the final answer, will be 16, but the denominator will stay the same as the original, which is 3. So your final answer for number 1 will be 16 over 3. That is your final answer. Here, let me highlight it so that it's easier to see. Now let's move on to improper fractions. Now improper fractions are way different from mixed numbers because you actually divide the numerator by its denominator. So let's do number 8 together. Number 8 is 5 over 2. Once again, we're given the numerator 5, the numerator 5, and the denominator 2. And step 1 says numerator divided by denominator. So numerator divided by denominator equals 5 divided by 2. And 5 divided by 2, okay, this is tricky. So 2 times 2 equals 4, and 2 times 3 equals 6. But 2 can go into 5 only 2 times because 4 is less than 5, so it could go inside. But 6 is greater than 5, so it can't go inside. So your best whole number for this one would be 2, and you're left with a remainder of 1. And this is very important. Both the whole number and the remainder is very important for improper fractions. Now, step 2 says the remainder will become the numerator for the original denominator, and the whole number will stay the same. So what this is saying is that the whole number right here will just stay as 2, but the remainder will go on top of the original denominator, which is 2 in this case. So your answer will be 2.5. And once again, let me highlight it so that it's easier to see. And that's your answer, your final answer for number 8. Now moving on to algebra. Algebra is a very important rule. You want the variable to be alone when you're solving for it. And you'll see what I mean in these next 2 problems. So we're going to do number 3 together. 3x minus 1 equals 20. So step 1 is adding 1 on both sides. Plus 1, plus 1. This is because when you do negative 1 plus 1, you get 0, so your 3x is left alone. That's one step closer to having the x by itself, right? So on the left side, you're left with 3x, but on the right side, you get 20 plus 1, which is 21. So 3x equals 21. Now you move on to step 2, which is dividing both sides by 3. This is where you can get x by itself because 3 divided by 3 is just 1, and you just bring the x down, so it's going to be 1x equals 21 divided by 3, which is 7. So for number 3, x equals 7. That's your final answer for number 3. And for number 5, this is very easy because it only has one step. 12 plus x equals 33. So the one step is subtracting 12 on both sides. So you do minus 12 right here, and you do minus 12 right here. Because when you subtract 12 on the left side, then you're just left with x automatically. And 33 minus 12 is just 21, so x equals 21. And this will be your final answer for number 5 for algebra. Now let's move on to combining like terms. So for this one, you have to realize that some variables are alike, so you could just combine them. But the number of variables stays the same as the number of variables shown in the question. So don't add your own exponents or anything, just keep it. If it says x, just keep it x. And you'll see what I mean in these next two examples. So let's do number 2 together. 6x minus 3x. The one step for this is combining like terms, and in this case it's just subtraction. So 6 minus 3 equals 3. So let me erase that. So 6 minus 3 equals 3 right here. And after you do that, you just plug the x back in, which is just 3x. So that's going to be your final answer for number 2. Now let's do number 10 together. X plus 2x. So step 1 is combining all like terms, which is x, and which are the two x's right here. And in this case, you're just adding. So it's going to be 1 right here, because it's always like a placeholder. It's like a placeholder, the number 1 right there. So it's going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3. And then once again, you just bring the x right here, and so your final answer is 3x for number 10. So that's going to be, so 3x is going to be your final answer for both number 2 and number 10. And that's it for today. I hope it helped you understand these topics.